So my background before I came to 4Kids was actually doing investigations for the sheriff's office, Broward Sheriff's Office. And being an investigator for the sheriff's office, being the person that literally has to make the decision on whether or not a person can keep their biological child or that biological child has to end up in foster care, it really taught me a lot about the need for church and people who know and love Jesus to really step in. It's almost like it was like a perfectly curated place for the church to intervene at the deepest, most darkest moments of a child's life. In my research of it, I found that there's a trend. 50% of the homeless population has had to run in foster care. 60% of those who have been human trafficked have had to run in foster care. 80% of inmates on death row have had to run in foster care. There's one story in particular when I was working for the sheriff's office that really marked me. I got this call that there was a 2-year-old girl that was rumored to be living in a storage unit. I pulled up to the storage unit, and I didn't have time to wait for law enforcement because of the urgency of the case. And I literally kicked open the storage unit door. And when I opened the door, I saw something that really changed my whole perspective on the need, on foster care, on serving vulnerable children. When that storage unit door opened, I saw a 2-year-old girl on the lap of someone who was clearly addicted to drugs. And I looked at this little girl. She had dirt on her face and her head was on a swivel like this because she was traumatized. And I said to the man who was actually babysitting this little girl while the mother was out prostituting, I said to the man, I said, sir, I think we both know this isn't a safe environment for this little girl, this 2-year-old. And he looked at me and he said, I know, but it's my job. I got to watch this baby. I said, sir, please let me have this baby. I'll make sure that she's safe. And he gave the baby to me. And when I picked her up and I held her in my arms, that same little 2-year-old stiff neck from constantly being on high alert melted like jello. And she put her head on my shoulder. She didn't know me. She didn't know my background. We hadn't had any prior relationship. But I look at it as there was something inside of me that she knew that she could trust and that was safe. And I attribute that to who Jesus is in my life. And I think that that's the opportunity with foster care. It dawned on me that if we can rally around this core issue that's written into our faith, if we can rally around this and begin to undo some of these hurts, not only would it save the life of children, not only would it repair brokenness in childhood, it would change our society. It would change the criminal rates in our communities. It would change homelessness. It would change this human trafficking ill that we deal with and we hear so much about, simply because we gave attention to this people group when the trauma is the greatest. And we have the greatest solution to handle that trauma, which is Jesus.